Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And speaking of the daily Discord updates, today we had a bunch of them because the market was going down, and right now we will talk about it. So as you can see, our 1-2 setup here got invalidated and we had to completely, change the structure. And speaking of that, I mentioned this yesterday, but I told you that if we actually invalidate the 1-2 setup here, this is gonna turn into a WXY structure. And let me explain this real quick. So basically, it's a very complex structure. And well, it looks like a flat structure, at least right now, because we did not break below the other lows. And I mean, we can start from here. This is an WXY, which completes the W wave. Then we went up in a WXY, which is the X wave. And then we went down again in another WXY move. And well, the low could be in because right here the Y wave of the Y wave already has 5 waves down. As you can see, I mean, we counted this, we had it on the chart. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, so it, could be complete. And well, right now, my opinion, it's not really gonna matter because I have some mixed feelings right now. There are some, things that are telling us that the price might go lower, but there are also a couple of things that could tell us that, the price might go higher. So yeah, it's hard to say what's gonna happen right now, but I'm gonna talk about, each scenario and what it could mean if we actually broke below the 0.618 support level. Now, before we do that, I do have to mention, I mean, this right here is a very beautiful triple bottom, and we have, never really done this before on the Cardano chart. Well, actually, there is one example, which I'm going to talk about, very, very soon. But this usually means that we're about to get another low, so I would not get my hopes too high right now because we could always break below the 618 support level, and if we do, the last support level is at 38.6 cents. That's the 0.786 support level, and this is only going to happen if my short-term bearish scenario will play out, and I'm going to talk about that as well. But first, let's talk about the bullish scenario because I know that's what you are here for right now. Like I said, our 1-2 setup here got invalidated, meaning that right now we have to complete another 1-2 setup, and I already put something on the chart that shows you, what the price needs to do in order to actually, look good and in order to complete 5 waves up. And right now we are working on the first wave, and keep in mind there's going to be a lot of resistance right now because, well, we are still in this downtrend and we need to break out of this downtrend. And the first thing to do is to break above this high, which is at 60.8 cents, and then we're gonna need to break above this high, which is at 65.8 cents, and then above this high, which is above the bull market support band, and it's at about 73.2 cents. Now, before we do that, we also need to stay above the moving average on the 4-hour. As you can see, we did get a reaction to it. I mean, we got above it, and right now I think we're about to retest it, and we could go a bit lower, maybe to like 53 cents. But if we drop below it, it's likely that we get another low and get to the oversold territory again. Speaking of the oversold territory, as you can see on the RSI on the 4-hour, we got extremely oversold, and actually we got as oversold as we did over here in April when we got exactly to 51 cents. And as you can see, after that, we, slowly, finally, formed a 1-2 setup, and the rest is pretty much history. Now, before I mention the RSI again, I do have to say, if this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup of the Y wave, this means that this structure right here, what we counted as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup for the, what used to be the first wave, is no longer that, and this is most likely an ABC structure. So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention right now. And yeah, if we look at the RSI right here as well, when we went to 51 cents in February, the RSI went to the exact same levels. Even here, when we got to like 58 cents, the RSI went to like 20 on the 4-hour. And as you can see, we got a bounce after that. So usually when the RSI gets so low, that's when we start going up. But, we could always get another low, and our 1-2 setup got invalidated, meaning that we could even drop below the 618 support level, which would would not be that good, because if that were to happen, we are most likely dropping to the last support level, which is the 0.786 support level, and that is at 38.6 cents. Could that happen? Well, I'm gonna talk about it right now. Actually, I'm gonna go to the Bitcoin chart, and well, I have a support zone for Bitcoin, and well, let me explain why. So, I mean, this structure, this entire move to the upside is extremely weird. I cannot really count it as a 5-wave move. Maybe it's some kind of ABC, but I'm expecting another low here, and I'm expecting Bitcoin to drop to about $95,000 just to, count this as, a second wave move down, or a B wave, whatever you want to call it. And then after that, we, could bounce, and my next targets are still the exact same. They're right here. But I think there is a chance that Bitcoin actually drops a bit lower right now to first test the bull market support band and then get to the 0.382 support level, and then we could finally start going up again. So if that happens right now, I mean, Cardano could theoretically get another low and maybe slightly break below the 618 support level. In my opinion, I don't think we will drop to the 0.786 unless Bitcoin actually gets to the 50% support level or the 618, but to be honest, if that were to happen, I mean, this would, most likely tell us that we are in a bear market. So what Bitcoin needs to do is stay above the bull market support band, which is at about $95,000 or so. And then we could, look for higher prices. And of course, people are already panicking right now. I mean, of course they are. Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs after all. Yesterday it got to like 60, well, almost 66%. And of course, my comments were full of people who have no idea how Bitcoin dominance work, who were calling, ADA dead, even though, ADA is not the only altcoin to go down. I mean, all of the altcoins went down during this time. But anyways, I mean, only ADA is dead for some reason. And I mean, these moves are actually extremely normal because Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. And I don't know why I have to keep repeating this, but even if we drop to like 38 cents, if during that time Bitcoin dominance is going to like 70%, it's only going to be better for the people who buy down here, because at some point Bitcoin dominance is going to have to start breaking down, because that's what always happens. And also, people do not realize this, but we cannot really start a bear market when Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. That's just not how it works. Usually the bear market starts when Bitcoin dominance is at all-time lows or cycle lows, because, well, that's how it works. I mean, during the bear market, the altcoins cannot really drop less than Bitcoin. That makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, keep that in mind. And also, going to the weekly Bitcoin chart, I mentioned this on the Discord server, but as you can see right here on the RSI, we stayed above the moving average, which is actually a very good sign. And this could mean that this week is about to be extremely bullish. So like I said, my feelings right now, they are mixed, because half of the things that are on the chart are telling me that we're going higher, but the other half are telling me that we might go a bit lower. So it all depends on what the market wants to do, to be honest. And going back to Bitcoin dominance again, right here, in the previous cycle in 2020, it was at 73.5%. Everybody thought crypto was dead. Everybody thought Cardano was dead. Back here in December of 2020, I mean, if you look at the Cardano chart, it was at like 15 cents over here, even like less than that. And it was down from like $1.50. So it was down about 90% during this time. And of course, people called it dead, but look at what happened after that when Bitcoin dominance started breaking down. So it's the exact same story every single time. Speaking of the exact same story every single time, I have something to show you right here on the weekly chart. As you can see, we had 3 corrections in this cycle so far, and maybe it's a coincidence, but the first correction right here took about 200 days, the second one took about 240 days, and right now we've been in the third one for about 203 days. Also, what you would notice right here, after getting the bear market low in 2023, if you zoom out on this, this is actually a, triple bottom. If you, take this as, a triple bottom, or maybe it's only a double bottom, but it doesn't really matter. We got to the exact same price almost 3 times, or even 3 times if you want to count this. And look at what happened after that. And by the way, look at when we had the, third bottom right here. It was after the cross on the bull market support band. and right now we're still waiting for the cross. So, this could be a sign that we're about to, continue going down, or we're about to just go sideways and then test the 0.618 support level again at some point after going up. So the situation right now is extremely confusing, and well, I mean, of course, we still have the exact same pattern every single time, and people still are confused. I mean, here we went down like 60%, and right now we went down like 60% again. So this is pretty normal, but at some point we're gonna have to get a reversal. And that reversal will only happen when we get a cross on the bear market support band and when Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down. Speaking of that, I have to talk about Ethereum for a second. It got to the 0.382 support level, so the low could be in, but again, this could even go lower. It could get like the 50% support level. So yeah, I would not suggest trading right now, like I said, because it's extremely confusing. But I mean, the situation does not really change. I mean, if you watched yesterday's video, you should know everything that's going on right now. And the lower we go right now, it's gonna be even better because Bitcoin dominance is gonna go higher, and the higher the Bitcoin dominance chart goes, I mean, the better the altcoin season will be once it actually starts breaking down. So yes, crypto is dead right now. You can say that however many times you want, but that does not change the fact that Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs, and the last time it was at cycle highs was right here, where it was overbought on the weekly, just like it is right now. So maybe that's a coincidence, but like I said, here Cardano was at like 15 cents, right now it's at like 50 cents, and we're only like a couple of percentages away from what we were, over here. So yeah, you could call this hopium, you could call this whatever you want, but I'm probably gonna make a lot of money in this cycle, at least, compared to what the people who FOMO'd in when Cardano was at like $1.30 will, because, I mean, someone has to actually buy in order for the other people to sell. And I mean, me personally, I'm probably going to sell in this area. And then, of course, there are going to be people who are going to be buying in this area, and they're going to be buying from me. And yeah, it is what it is. I hope that's not going to be you. But if that's going to be you, then take it as a lesson and maybe don't FOMO in next time. And maybe consider buying when stuff is actually in the support zone, and not financial advice, but we're in the support zone right now. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, check out the memberships if you want access to our Discord updates and if you want access to our charts. I mean, we post a bunch of stuff here, and yeah, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.